Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude, and we're going to be checking out Star Wars issue 35 by Charles Soule and Madibek Musabekov. Luke Skywalker finds himself in a bit of a pickle as his lightsaber no longer functions properly after his mission to no space, so he has gone on a journey of sorts to try and get it fixed, which has brought him to the planet Christophsis and to Dr. Cuata, a scientist specializing in kyber crystals who can help Luke. It's not as simple as just replacing the crystal though, as Luke finds out and ends up going on a really awesome journey that highlights a lot of Soule's past writings. What's really cool is Soule is using Cuata's exposition as a way to show us readers the intricate nature of lightsaber building and how and what parts are used, going into quite a bit of detail on how it all works, building on parts of the process we've seen in Clone Wars and in Rebels, especially with how the kyber crystal works and how it's meant to choose the user, something Luke never did since he's not a traditionally trained Jedi, hence he never went to Ilum to pick out his crystal. This gives Soule the chance to do just that with Luke and show him how to pull the dark side from a red crystal, which until now we've only ever really seen a crystal be bled by the dark side, never the other way around, so it's interesting to see Soule use this new character of Greta to help inform Luke on how he goes about doing this, revealing more about her fallen Nazi heritage and how her ancestors would rid the dark side from certain crystals for the Jedi in their era, probably the High Republic era. It's also interesting as we get to see the inside of this red crystal and how it seemingly has sentience in the form of a Sith who tries to convince Luke to tap into his pain and suffering. An interesting choice since it builds towards how Luke is in Return of the Jedi. He's conflicted about his father and how to deal with him and how to deal with the Empire, and thinking that he can save his father, but he knows he might have to, actually kill him and give in to his anger as well. So leaving Luke with both his new green crystal and this red one is looking to continue down this road and examining Luke's conflict in new and interesting ways. Luke also gets confronted by the notion that he's not a fully trained Jedi, and it's addressed here wonderfully as we get to see a Force vision through a clear crystal that shows him Yoda, letting Luke confront his master about why he hasn't been in contact with him, why he hasn't helped him out, and Luke learns that this isn't about him needing help, it's about him making decisions for himself and being his own person, and only he can do that to ensure that he can become a Jedi Knight. And without even realizing it, he has actually learned a lot and will be ready for what is to come. Soule also taps back into his Darth Vader run for a minute and does a cool light side version of Vader's vision in the Force when he was trying to bring back Padme, except here Luke is being visualized as a blue white spirit instead of the blood red spirit Anakin was during that vision, and I love the visual similarities with them both having lost their arms, so their arm is just portrayed as like this bright color, and I like that Musabekov's fantastic artwork depicted that and visualized it and mirrored it really well. This issue actually had quite a great deal of detail in its artwork as well. It really piqued my interest visually, especially since Musabekov didn't skimp in the detail in things like Cuata's cybernetic eyes kind of irising out like telescopes when he was like inspecting crystals and inspecting Luke's lightsaber, and then all the little components of the lightsaber kind of matching up with how real life movie prop versions look and how we've seen it in like Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor and how it's all different sections and parts. It's just visually interesting. Charles Soule continues to make the Star Wars ongoing an absolute delight to read, exploring some fantastic facets of Luke's Jedi journey and finally moving into some truly meaty territory with Luke beginning to create his lightsaber and learn a little bit more about the Jedi and their teachings and their histories from Dr. Cuata and this new fallen Nazi woman Greta. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.